Hi, everybody. Welcome to Disability Cafe on this July 4th, 2026, which is the 250th birthday of the United States. Let's see what we can do here. Happy birthday to America. Happy birthday to America. Woohoo! Woohoo! Happy birthday, USA. I am an American girl. I love my country. So today I'm doing this podcast by myself. I am going to take on this beautiful day, July 4th. Like, I just love America. When I was 21 years old, I bought my first house on George Street. And the first thing I did was I went to Lowe's and I bought all these red, white, and blue fake carnations. And I put all red, white, and blue in front of my house. And everyone that was coming over was saying, "Oh my gosh, you put all the Puerto Rican colors in front of the house." Like, no, it's the USA colors. Which are the Puerto Rican colors? You know, Puerto Rico is the island of two flags. It's a little island with two flags, which is the American flag and the Puerto Rican flag, because all Puerto Ricans are United States citizens. I just love this country. I love everything about it. I've visited other countries, and I just feel like there's no reason for me to go to any place outside the United States, because we have the best of everything. I've traveled across the United States. I've driven many times across the United States, actually in a car and in an RV. And it's just, it's spectacular. If you've never done it, please, like, if it's the only vacation you take, cross the United States driving from the Pennsylvania Appalachian Mountains, from Virginia. They cross from Pennsylvania all the way down Virginia. Like, it keeps going through Tennessee, and you'll just cross that. You get on the Iowa 80, and there's a huge giant it's a truck stop, but it's called the Iowa 80. So this is the Iowa 80 truck stop, and it's like once you reach the I-80, I mean, it's a long road. Like, you think 90, well, as long as probably 95, but this crosses the United States. And when you get into Iowa and you get to the Iowa 80, like, there's a tractor trailer truck. There's a truck inside the store. There's a restaurant in there. I mean, it's pretty cool. Oh my God. They have, in 4 days, it's the Truckers Jamboree, and it's going to be in the Iowa 80 truck stop. How cool is that? Yeah, so it's like, this is like definitely one of the landmarks that you have to stop by if you're driving cross country across the United States. It's so great. And then once you pass Iowa and you get through the Midwest, and it's just flat land, and you see these giant the propeller windmills that help with electricity. They are giant, massive. And then from there you go and you get into Nebraska, super flat land. And once you hit Nebraska and you end up in Denver, in Colorado, things start to get cooler, even in the summertime. And once you start going up that mountain and you're going up the Rockies, when you get to the top and you're going through the Eisenhower Tunnel, hold on, I need to show you this.
At more than 11,000 feet above sea level, the highest point on the entire U.S. interstate system is not a mountain pass, it's a tunnel. Carved straight through the Continental Divide, the Eisenhower Edwin C. Johnson Memorial Tunnel carries Interstate 70 under solid granite, where winter lasts most of the year and engines struggle for air. When it opened in 1973, it was the highest vehicular tunnel in the world. Nearly 1.7
And it
miles
still
long,
is.
it took 5 years, 6,000 workers, and millions of hours to build at an elevation where construction itself became a daily battle. Today,
Yep.
more than 35,000 vehicles a day pass through it in
Look
just
at the
minutes,
snow at the top of
barely
that
noticing
mountain.
the effort beneath them. But what did it really take to drill a highway through America's backbone? And why was there no other choice?
And I mean the other way is going down Tennessee, driving through like Arkansas and Utah, and then going the back way through Arizona if you're going through to Las Vegas and then to California, like going all the way down the East Coast and then lower through the Midwest on the lower Midwest through the South, and then crossing over that way because you have to cross these giant mountain passes. And the mountain passes, they have like not very many ways that you can cross from the East Coast to the West Coast, you know, on a nice highway just going straight through.
Surged, ski areas grew into major destinations, long-haul trucking increased every year. People no longer hoped for good roads, they expected them. They expected travel to work in every season. The old mountain passes could not deliver that. When the interstate highway system was approved,
So this is the interstate highway system. So as you can see, like we're right here in Connecticut. Where's Connecticut? Like I don't have my glasses on, so I'm looking at two maps. So this right here, going through here, through the Iowa here, and you're crossing over. And you cross over, here's Denver. This is Iowa 80. See this? This is like the way that I would drive. I would go this way through Pennsylvania, and you pass all this. This is the way I drove. When I drove to Florida, I drove all the way down 95, and then you can go all the way down to Key West. I also drove to Alabama, went through Tennessee. That was another trip that I took. I love to drive and I love my country. So that's why I just love to visit all these. Like in another time, I will definitely share more photographs of those trips, because the last trip that I took my service dog Hans was when I went to Alabama. We went to the World Games in Alabama. The World Games is right after the Olympics. They have them every year, so I have to look up where the World Games are going to be this year. And that's when they have like sumo wrestling. They have korfball, which is another. It's like SVB, like soccer, volleyball, basketball together. It's an actual real sport, and they have like all the teams from all around the world that come down. And 4 years ago, Lionel Richie was the opening. No, he was the closer of the ceremony, so that was a lot of fun to see. But yeah, it's a thing, and it was in Alabama in what was 4 years ago, 2022. So yeah, it was in 2022. It was in Alabama, and after the Olympics. So now the Olympics are again, and then after the Olympics, it's the World Games. So, which is pretty neat for people who don't know about those things. Anyway, so this is like a whole video that I wasn't even planning on doing. So we'll just save the rest for another day, or I'm going to share the link to this video on the bottom of this video, because we're still celebrating July 4th and everything that we love about America. And you know, in Connecticut, we have our own tunnel in Vernon. It's one of the oldest tunnels in the whole United States. And so this is the Disability Cafe YouTube channel. This is where all the videos that we have are posted. I found a tunnel road, and this is in Connecticut. This is the video in Connecticut. The Tunnel Road Tunnel, this 108-foot Keystone Arch Tunnel, longest in Connecticut, was erected by the Hartford Providence and Fishkill Railroad between 1846 and 1849 as part of the first east-west railroad in Connecticut. Along the inside corridor of the tunnel, neither crack nor falling stone is evident, a tribute to the pride and craftsmanship of its creators. So those kinds of videos are on Disability Cafe, and I just loved going through Tunnel Road in Vernon because it gives you like a little like flashback of what it was like going through the tunnel in the Eisenhower Tunnel, which is super scary. And I mean, there's a tunnel in Maryland where Virginia, I think, in Maryland is, that's underwater. That's scary. The Boston Tunnel's not that scary. We have a tunnel in Connecticut on the Merritt Parkway. So going through the Merritt Parkway, when you're passing Sirkowski, when they make helicopters there, when you're going like towards Bridgeport, there's a tunnel there. So there's tunnels everywhere. But I mean, when you're driving cross country, it's just beautiful seeing how the landscape is. And on this July 4th, you know, like for me personally, what I want to talk about is the Americans with Disabilities Act. I mean, this year is the 36th year. 36 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The 36th birthday is on July 26th of this year. So it's going to be 36 years old. And I mean, it's the best. I mean, can you imagine just 36 years ago and not having the Americans with Disabilities Act? And it prohibits discrimination based on disability. It expands access to employment, education, transportation, public spaces, essential services. Like there's just so many great things about the Americans with Disabilities Act. Of course, it was signed by the late President George H.W. Bush. It's a transformative civil rights law in U.S. history, and there has been no other law that could even touch it when it pertains to access for people with disabilities. And items covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act is, you know, service animals, parking, effective communication is technically in titles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's effective communication includes ASL interpreters, which is in title 1, 2, 3, and 5, but part 4 is effective communication via like closed captions, which is also for people who are deaf and hard of hearing, which it also includes like in education having information via Braille. So the 5 titles of the Americans with Disabilities Act is Title 1, Employment. Title 2 is State and Local Government, like when you go vote. Title 3 is Public Accommodation, which means, you know, restaurants, businesses, service dogs, commercial facilities. Title 4, of course, is Telecommunications, and they're talking about, you know, closed captioning and the TTY phones. All those things. And then Title 5 is great because it's everything that, you know, we didn't include in the first floor. It's included in Part 5. And the last thing I will say, not only, you know, thank you for watching, but on August 15th, we're celebrating the Americans with Disabilities Act at the Hartford Athletic Stadium. I'm going to be there. All my friends are going to be there. Please come on down. Say hi to me. I will definitely be taking more images for Disability Cafe. I'd love to see everyone come down. Have a good night.